Today we're going to be talking all about umbrella company contractors, how to set it up, and what you should look out for with umbrella companies. Hello, welcome back to our channel and podcast. My name is Gemma, and here at WIS we talk about all things relating to money, mortgages, and positive money mindset. So if that interests you, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the thumbs up. It really helps with our YouTube algorithm and means that you won't miss out on any of our videos. On today's episode of Let's Talk Money and Mortgages, we have Ifti joining us once again, and for those of you who don't know Ifti is a trained accountant and mortgage advisor who has been in the industry for over 11 years. He is also one of the founding directors here at WIS. Welcome back, Ifti. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. So today's video is sort of based on a lot of inquiries that we've had recently, isn't it, about umbrella contractors and trying to get a mortgage. Yeah. So I think a really good place to start, especially if you're watching this and you are an umbrella contractor and you're just about to enter into an umbrella contractor agreement, is really what you should be looking for from such agreement and how it should be set up.
Yeah. Okay. So you have to be very careful with umbrella contractors. Obviously, I've been an accountant. I've been working in this space. We also have an umbrella company, WS Umbrella. So I kind of know this space quite a lot, right? So with umbrella, you have to be very careful because a lot of people, they just go because their friend used that umbrella company or the agency said just go to that umbrella company. They do that quite a lot, right? So you have to be very careful because the umbrella company is like a payroll bureau effectively. So you got to make sure that your pay is properly taxed, right? I know, people come to me and say, look, I'm earning, say, £500 a day. Can you tell me how much I'm going to be getting to my hand, right? So we do the workings and we say, okay, you get about, say, 50%, depending on how much you earn, 50%, 55% to hand, right, out of your earnings. Whatever that number is, right? I'm just making a number up here, right? So they go and compare this with another umbrella company and they say, oh, those guys are giving you 70% or 75%. Why are you giving 50, right? So I'm going there, right? I mean, that's the wrong perception, right? Because umbrella company is nothing but a payroll bureau in a sense. And obviously, there is a lot of extra stuff they do, but it's like a payroll bureau. They effectively run a payslip for you. So if you take a payslip, even if you work in company A or company B, your pay should be the same, right? If somebody is earning, say, 50,000, their pay should be the same, right? Likewise, most umbrella companies, the pay should be the same. And obviously, they have to run a proper payslip. All your income has to be taxed, right? Unless there are one or two exceptional circumstances. That's very exceptional, right? But for most people, all your income is taxed, right? It's like you're running a payslip. So if that's not the case, and if it sounds too good to be true, then there's something wrong, right? So you have to be very careful with that one.
So how do umbrella companies earn their money? Is it a monthly fee that they take, or is it a percentage?
If it's percentages, there should be alarm bells, right? Because why a percentage, right? Usually umbrella companies, depending on the umbrella company, they will charge a fee for a month, maybe something like £60 to £150 or whatever it is. That should be kind of the range, right? It shouldn't be more than that, right? And certainly not connected to percentages, right? Because if somebody says, okay, we need 10% of your income or 5% of your income, that should ring alarm bells for you, right? Because that doesn't sound right. Because most umbrella companies, they do charge just a flat fee and it's very clear, right? They just run a payslip for you, and obviously there are some benefits they give you as well, but effectively it's very clear. So if you're on a weekly payslip, they might charge you 15-20 pounds a week or maybe 25. It really depends on the umbrella company you use, right? So that's kind of it really, right? So there shouldn't be anything more than that.
And what about, if you're looking at your payslip and it's all very confusing, because sometimes, we look at these a lot and they are a little bit confusing. So what can you do to sort of try and understand initially from the get-go, like what will be included in your payslip, how will the deductions be made and what deductions are they? Are you supposed to get some sort of agreement which as sort of outlines this?
Yeah, so usually when you come to umbrella company like us, right, we give you an illustration, right? The illustration will tell you what your income is, what your deductions are, and what you will take home on a monthly basis. Obviously, at that time, it's only assumptions. We assume that you work for 21 days a month or whatever it is, and we give you an assumption, right? And the umbrella company will explain this to you, how it works, right? They have to, because that's the whole idea, because they have to show how this works. There are a few other deductions apart from the normal national insurance and the payee deduction. You have things like apprentice levy deduction and the umbrella company fee. So those you will see in your pay slips as well, right? So there are some additional deductions as well.
Pension sometimes as well, right?
Yeah, sometimes that pensions there, pension, obviously you can contribute. A lot of people are exempt from this umbrella company pension sort of thing. But, if you are contributing, you should have those deductions that you're showing as well, right? So they should be able to explain this to you, and it should be very clear cut, right? If you want, you can go to the HMRC website and you can verify these numbers. It won't be 100% accurate because there will be the umbrella company fee that you're deducting and things like that, but it should be more or less there, right? But if it's too good to be true, you have to really worry about it, right? Because HMRC is very clear on umbrella company rules. There were a lot of amendments that took place a few years ago, and they have been refining these rules as well, right? All what HMRC is expecting is for you to be taxed like a normal person who is on a payee, right? That's what they're expecting. So if they're doing something different, you have to worry about it.
Getting your mortgage online doesn't have to be complicated. At WIS, our website will help guide you through step by step. Our fully qualified advisors can help you get the most suitable mortgage for you. Then you can relax, safe in the knowledge that WIS are working in the background to get your mortgage approved. WIS. Online mortgages made simple.
Just to kind of give you guys sort of an idea of maybe what's not expected, we've had people inquire that have been paid dividends from their umbrella company contractors and offshore money and things like that. Those are all things, Ifti, aren't they, that should definitely spark alarm bells.
Yeah, that's right. Offshore structures are not allowed, right? I mean, HMRC banned this some time ago, right? Some of the offshore structures is considered as tax evasion. You'll end up in jail, right? So be very careful while you're trying to do this, right? So that is a problem. Expenses, that's a common thing as well, right? It's just like a normal contractor or agency worker who gets massive deductions as expenses, right? Again, under very exceptional circumstances, HMRC allows you to deduct some expenses, but majority of the cases, right, almost 99% will have 100% without expenses, right? You cannot claim expenses, right? So expenses is not allowed. And dividend. It's so funny because to get dividend, you have to be a shareholder of a company, right? So what's the company, right? I think there was a question the other day, I think was brought to my attention as well. Somebody was getting dividend and like from what company, right? There's no company involved, right? The umbrella company is silent about it. So those are like complete no-nos, right? Just don't do it, right? Don't go there. I mean, I think we are mainly bringing up this subject from a mortgage point of view. Banks look at your pay slips. If they think it's something funny, they're not going to give you a mortgage, right? Because that's out. Because the banks want you to be good citizens and they want you to pay the right tax, right? So long as you've done that, they're happy to give you the mortgage. If not, they worry about it, right? So, you have to make sure that you pay the right amount of tax here.
Yeah, and also as well, like the slips that you get, they need to be true of what you get in your bank account, because I've also seen cases where on the payslip it says you earn one thing and then in your bank account you're paid more than what is on your slip, but the bank will notice this and they will sort of say, why is there extra? And so it doesn't help getting a mortgage, and it will be something that will kind of hinder you from getting a mortgage. But Ifti, for those people that have been trapped in these umbrella companies and now they've realised, oh gosh, like this isn't right, it's not been done correctly, what can they do to sort of rectify the situation that then they can get a mortgage?
From a mortgage point of view, I think the best thing to do is you got to get your tax right. It's a mistake, fine, it's a mistake, right? So go and pay the tax, right? So what these guys would have had is they would have had more income. Let's say they got paid as expenses. Expenses were never taxed, right? So declare it as an income. Go and do that ASAP because it's now, it, right? Do it before HMRC finds out, because then they will charge you penalties and all that sort of thing, right? Just say, look, I made a mistake. I want to rectify it. File your tax return, declare that and pay the tax, right? Don't worry about the tax bill, because if you, under normal circumstances, you would have anyway paid that tax, right? It's just that it wasn't taxed, right? So just pay the tax and get your tax records up to date. So long as your tax records are up to date, you can always tell the bank, look, I paid my tax, right? And then you can take it from there, right? So it's always best to get the tax records right.
Obviously, we do have an accountancy arm, so just wanted to kind of make a little point here that, if this is something that you're worried about, we can also help with this area through our accountancy side. Can't we, Ifti? We can help with that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we can help you with filing old tax returns. Obviously, we can have conversations with HMRC. So we can do that for you if that's what you require. And of course, WS has umbrella structure as well, like I mentioned before. So if you need help, we make sure we deduct all the taxes, right? So we want to be compliant, right? So therefore, if you're interested, we can help you in that area as well.
For people who, they say they have rectified their tax situation, that's all up to date. But what about continuing on with the same agency? Would they perhaps need to swap to a new umbrella company?
So long as the agency is deducting and paying the right amount of tax, then there's no problem, right? But again, if it's down to me, if they are doing this mistake and they only rectify because I told them that would create doubt in my mind as well of the legitimacy of this agency. So if it was down to me, I will go somewhere else, right? Because I know they have not done it right before. So who knows what's happening in the background, right? So there might be other stuff happening and you don't want to be involved if there's any issues, right? But if there is something like that, if you think there are not so right structures, I think the best thing to do is inform HMRC, because you would have been a victim and there might be other people who will be victims in future as well, right? Because obviously, it's not right to have these structures because, like I said, some of these schemes are tax evasion, right? It's not avoidance, it's evasion where you can end up in jail, right? So knowing that there's something wrong, I think it's always a good idea to inform HMRC because they do look at these structures because, like I said, it's illegal, right? So they will look at it.
Definitely. There's also one other funny thing that maybe we should mention as well is that, if you are working outside IR35 and they say that you need to join an umbrella company that's linked to a limited company, is that something that you would say is a good idea?
Agencies can tell you what to do, but you got to be careful as well what's right for you. And if you're not sure, speak to somebody who knows about this subject. We are more than happy to help you if you have any doubts on this. One thing agencies really can't specify that you have to use this agency. They say they have done due diligence, right? A lot of agencies say that they are supposed to, right? But still you have all these rogue structures out there, right? You definitely want to stay away from these structures, right? So if they say you have to use an umbrella company, you sometimes have to because that's the way the employer likes it, right? So you might not have a choice in that, but you do have a choice in choosing the right umbrella company who deducts the right amount of tax, right? So they can't really force you even if you're within IR35 to go to that agency say they pay you more, right? Because I've heard these stories. People say, oh, the agency said they pay me more, right? But not the agency's call, right? You need to make sure that you pay the right amount of tax because HMRC, yes, they will go after that umbrella company, but they'll also come after you because you haven't paid the right amount of tax, right? So you would have spent all that money thinking, oh, this is my income, right? Obviously, a lot of people spend all their money. 5 years down the line, let's say you work 5 years with the same umbrella company, you may owe HMRC thousands of pounds, right? Now that's a horrible situation to be in because HMRC will charge you interest because you didn't pay 5 years ago. And also HMRC are likely to charge you a penalty as well, right? So that combined plus the debt that you have, not a good combination, right?
I'm going to leave you guys a link below in the comments box, which is basically from the HMRC website, which kind of just outlines what you should be looking out for and how you can sort of tell them about an umbrella company if you think there's something funny going on. Ifti, is there anything else you wanted to add to help our umbrella contractors out today?
Yeah, with umbrellas, I think after these 35 reforms which took place 2 years ago, right? A lot of people are forced to use umbrella companies, right? So we see and hear more and more people joining umbrella companies and it's becoming very common, right? But be careful, right? Don't look at percentages, just check on the directors, see what their backgrounds are. Are they chartered accountants? Who's people who are doing this? What is their track record? Is it a new company? Have they been around a while?
Yes. Look at them on Companies House. I think that's a good place to start, isn't it?
Yeah, look at the website, see how transparent they are. Check numbers, check 2-3 agencies if you want to, but the numbers should look very identical, right? Don't just go because your friend used it or the agency said, these guys give you more money or these guys are good, right? End of the day, you have to protect yourself as well. I rather pay the tax now than pay tax later with massive penalties and interest, right? So you don't want to do that, right? So you just need to work on making sure that you're getting the right umbrella company. Just because you have to start your assignment tomorrow, don't be rushed to just pick the agency that job agency or the employer says, right? You just need to make sure it's the right one, right? So just make sure you do the due diligence yourself before getting into that. Yeah.
Thank you, Ifti, again for some more great advice. I just wanted to point out that these points may or may not be applicable to you, so please do check with an advisor if you're unsure. And as I mentioned before, if you don't have an advisor or an accountant or you want some help with, umbrella structures, please do contact us. I'll leave our details below for you. And a little reminder that as your mortgage is secured against your home or property, it may be repossessed if you don't keep up with the mortgage repayments. Thank you again for joining us today. We'll be back next week with another episode of Let's Talk Money and Mortgages. Have a great day, stay safe, and we'll see you again soon.